And remember, when you export raw materials like steel and wood, lumber, especially steel, aluminum, raw materials overseas, you are helping to build up their infrastructure overseas. You know, and also it's a great distance, so it's not very logical to really export. This is why, you know, these people are, you know, whatever, not these people, but that's why the international trade for large, okay, think logical, okay, international trade for large, heavy items does not work. It's so expensive to bring this large item over. They have their own logging, their own steel facilities over there. Why would they need to pay? Because look how heavy it is. You know, you're paying $100,000 to get a piece of steel, which you have yourself for $1,000. Doesn't make any sense. So a country must produce its own products and all that kind of stuff. China is slowly taking ownership. China will slowly begin to own the United States unless the, I mean, I don't know really. It's such a mixed thing. I think America should continue to prepare against a Chinese invasion, and physically, if it comes down to that, you know, I think America should train its own people to make a citizen militia.
No, this is not good.
How come Iran does that? How come Brazil does that? Every country does that.
No, we have to do this in a bit diplomatic way.
No, but China is moving forward very slowly and steadily. In about 15 years, I mean, I think they could stay in their area, but I think financially they're owning it. They're not militarily owning it. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of confusing things, you know? I think that China is becoming the owner of, they're not physically attacking the land, they are a shareholder in America.
Yeah, you could say this.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. So, you know, in that respect, there's nothing to worry about, right? There's nothing to worry about because America is an international country as it is. America is an international country. There's people here came from all other places. There is no Americans or Native Americans really around. Native Americans is not existent. 0.001%, they're not a factor. There's Chinese people, German people, Mexican people that are American citizens. So it's a melting pot of people from everywhere. And in this manner, there is no nationalism. That's why it's actually true. United we stand. And divided we fall. Because these people uniting, you know, kind of, you know, that's what America is. So, but in that sense, America has no, you know, has no history, has no common culture. The culture of America literally is the Constitution. You see, that's why the bad forces don't like American revival. They don't like they don't like these patriots. They don't like the patriot, bar none, above everything else. The controlling financial controls or the elites, they do not really like. They don't really care since they got a lot of money, but they basically cannot get away with it. They don't really like the patriot movement. And the patriot movement is actually, thanks to Trump and a lot of other patriots, the patriot movement is really a big thing. And, you know, they want to make the patriot movement look like kind of a little bit more of a redneck thing, dumb, you know, patriot movement. But it actually is, the patriot movement is kind of the Constitution. Because that's what the country stands for, the freedoms we have, the freedoms America has, the Constitution, that's really what is behind the patriot movement. And they want to distract from these things. They don't want it to be discussed. It is very, very confusing since America has such a background of all different things. And it's just, I mean, it's a mess. It's really confusing. Other countries have more sense of nationalism and a history of the country. We don't have that. Our history is actually a history of revolution. Our country is actually history is actually a history of diversity. It's actually a history of protecting our own country. But we got involved with wars, the World War One, the World War Two, and you can be seen on the internet that it's a scam. That's very bad. But anyhow, stay away from this junk. You know, these people are crazy. A lot of American people are really crazy. They're just gung ho kind of people that say, "Oh hell no, man! If that comes to our country, we'll shoot the shit out of these guys. Don't worry about it." And so, in that sense, that's good. There's also the international element with the international kind of, you know, money controllers or whatever. This is all bullshit. It doesn't interest me.